I want to talk to you today about protecting your property from fraud, and most specific area that we can do this is when we review the monthly financial data that we get from the property manager. I realize that almost all businesses produce periodic reports so the leaders can know where their business is going. You're no different. And we want to have this game plan in place to detect issues as they're occurring, and therefore find them, isolate them, and get information about them. Now, the most important tool we can get in the package we get from the managing agent is the budget comparison report. This is the report that shows what's been spent in different categories and what the original budget was. Now, please realize we know that those budget numbers were created up to 15 months earlier, but yet they're the best benchmark we have as to where we expected our numbers to be. This allows us to easily detect areas that might be concerned. So one area would be the money spent is in excess of the appropriate budget. This could mean that the amounts are going to ultimately exceed the budget, and therefore when time comes at the end of the year, there won't be enough money to pay all the bills. There could be a shortage, which on the good side means that there was possibly a cost savings going on, so that would be good to know it and reward it. But also it could mean that the bills are all not being paid currently, and they're accumulating somewhere. Basically, you're not aware that there's an amount here that's going to be due in the future. Now, either of these can indicate that there's the possibility of a manipulation or a misappropriation. And we need to be sure that we watch cash as well as we watch the results for the year. Cash is our most important asset and is vulnerable and needs specific safeguarding. So I want you to think of whether or not you ever see the bank reconciliation in your monthly management report. This is an important document to see that the cash in the bank is correct and the reports are correct. And you can also find out whether or not you get copies of the monthly bank statements, because the bank statement shows the amount of cash and allows you to know that the funds do exist. One of the other sides to this that we want to make sure that all of our boards have is access to all of their bank accounts, because the bank will only speak to the signatories on the account. It becomes a very enlarged process to try to get the money back if solely the managing agent can sign checks. So it's imperative that in order to safeguard your cash, the board is always a signatory on all accounts. These are basic internal controls that should be in place in your property, and we want to remind you that monitoring both the budget comparison report and cash are really important aspects of your work as a board member. Now, there's no way to fully stop the risk of fraud, but we can do our best to minimize the situation. We want to make sure that we get rid of the concern that the next bad news in this industry doesn't include your property.